Welcome to Sports Guy Talking. I am Dustin Tran, your host, as I am here today to talk about the Dallas Mavericks, as they have looked pretty good despite their close losses. Kyrie Irving has served as a solid addition to the Mavericks roster on paper. Luka Doncic has still played incredible basketball for the Dallas Mavericks, despite the fact that they are currently the 7th seed in the Western Conference. Before I say anything else though, I want to present you guys with the topic question. So, here it is. Are the Mavericks legitimate contenders in the Western Conference? And what I'm going to say about this is that, quite frankly, it depends on how you're answering the question. If you want to talk about regular season contenders, then no, the Dallas Mavericks are not regular season contenders. Right now, they've got 17 games left on their schedule. They're 7th in the Western Conference. They've been a 500 basketball team all season long. At this point, you are who you are. It's not like the Dallas Mavericks are going to go out there and go out with a 15-game winning streak or anything like that. That's just the reality of the situation. You've been hanging around 500. You're a below average defense. Even though you've got stars all over the place, look, the Dallas Mavericks, they are who they are. They're not going to all of a sudden flip a switch. It's just not realistic to expect that. Luka Doncic, he's playing great basketball. There's a reason why he's averaging over 33 points a game. He's awesome at what he does. There's no doubt about it. There's also no doubt that the addition of Kyrie Irving is going to help out the Dallas Mavericks, assuming that he can actually stay on the basketball court, which so far he actually has. So credit to Kyrie Irving for that. But when you look at the regular season standings, the Dallas Mavericks are just too far behind some of these teams to make a real push. If you're the Dallas Mavericks, the ultimate goal is that you've got to get yourselves out of the play-in tournament. If they can get themselves out of the play-in tournament, then they should be fine. Because once you get to the play-in tournament, you really don't know what could happen. You've got a logjam at the play-in contention spots. You've got the Clippers. You've got the Pelicans. You've got the Jazz. You've got the Lakers. You've got the Trailblazers. You've even got the Thunder, who might even make a run at this thing. The point is, you really don't know what can happen in a play-in game. You just don't know. That's just the reality of the situation. But when you look at some of these teams that are at the top of the West, are you really all that convinced with them? The casual NBA fan is not going to be convinced by the Denver Nuggets. I think they should be, though, because they got Nikola Jokic, who's been fantastic for the Denver Nuggets. He should absolutely be the MVP for them. That's not even a question mark for me. But when you look at the Denver Nuggets, though, a lot of casuals are going to say, are they really that good? Or are they only good because of their MVP? Because if you can take away the MVP and limit his game, then what are the Denver Nuggets really left of? Of course, this is not what I actually think. I actually think that is very far from the truth, what I just said right there. But that's what someone could say about the Denver Nuggets. And then you got the Memphis Grizzlies. To me, they're frauds. They're the number 2 seed team in the West. Yes, I believe they will hold on to the number 2 seed, even without Ja Morant. But let's be honest, the Memphis Grizzlies, they're probably not going to get very far in the NBA playoffs because they just simply don't have enough stardom on their team. And what wins games in the playoffs? Stars. That's what it's all about. And the Memphis Grizzlies, they don't really have a lot of stars. They're a well-coached team. Yes. They've got an excellent system. Yes. They've got great role players. Yes. But they don't have that superstar that can take over a game. Maybe Ja Morant could have been that guy, but with him being suspended basically indefinitely, who knows? And I highly doubt that would have happened anyways. And then you look at the Sacramento Kings. They've done fantastic in the regular season. Credit to them where credit is due. They've done great at what they've done, but let's be honest, they are still a year ahead of schedule. When you look at the Sacramento Kings, they don't have a lot of superstars on their team. They've got some stars, yes. They've got Sabonis. They've got Fox. They've got Keegan Murray. But let's be honest, the Sacramento Kings, they're not a team that's equipped to stop a super team or anything like that. They're a regular season team. They're not really a playoff kind of team. They're just not ready for that kind of contention yet. And then you've got the Phoenix Suns at 4th. They look really good. But here's the thing with the Dallas Mavericks. The Dallas Mavericks just played them yesterday, and they looked really good against the Phoenix Suns. Although the Phoenix Suns ended up winning that game, the Dallas Mavericks matched them blow for blow, shot for shot. And the only reason, quite frankly, why the Phoenix Suns won that game was because Luka Doncic missed a wide open layup. I mean, how many times is that going to happen? Luka Doncic is a fantastic player. That was just a one-off. The Dallas Mavericks, they have what it takes to beat a team like the Suns in the NBA playoffs. Heck, they even did it last year. I know the Suns didn't have Kevin Durant then, but I could also say that the Mavericks, they didn't have Kyrie Irving on their roster then either. So when you look at it from that perspective, the Dallas Mavericks and the Phoenix Suns, they're certainly up there. And they can certainly compete toe for toe if they had to play against each other. And then, of course, you've got the Golden State Warriors. I know that the Dallas Mavericks have had trouble stopping the Golden State Warriors in recent memory, But let's be honest, this Golden State Warriors team, this is not the same Warriors team that dominated in last year's NBA playoffs. This Warriors team is different in terms of vibes, in terms of mentality, in terms of the momentum. I love the Golden State Warriors. I'm rooting for them to succeed. But let's be honest, the Golden State Warriors, they are not playing their A game right now. I understand that they just went on a winning streak not too long ago, but they still don't look quite right to me, and they are still struggling on the road, or at least they're not succeeding as much as I would like them to be. Then of course you've got the Minnesota Timberwolves, but they're only half a game ahead of the Dallas Mavericks. But when you look at the Minnesota Timberwolves, they haven't played great basketball all year, and honestly a losing streak could do them in, which I could definitely see happening. So when you look at the Dallas Mavericks, I'm thinking to the Mavericks, okay, they've got to get to the 6th seed. If they can get to the 6th seed, that means they're probably going to be playing a team like the Sacramento Kings in round 1 of the NBA playoffs. If you're the Dallas Mavericks and you get to play the Sacramento Kings in round 1 of the NBA playoffs, you'll only look at yourselves like, hey, this is a pretty good deal that we're getting out of this. You get to play the inexperienced Sacramento Kings team. They've had a great regular season, yes, but they don't know anything about playoff basketball. Well, we know all about playoff basketball, and we know how playoff Luka Doncic comes. When playoff Luka is on, he's really on. Regular season Luka is awesome, but postseason Luka is amazing. When you talk about postseason Luka, he is a legend when you look at him. Postseason Luka is just built different. So if you're the Dallas Mavericks and you can get yourselves in position to play someone like the Sacramento Kings, this is a team that could easily beat in 5 or 6 games. They might even beat them in 4 if we're being honest, just because of the amount of star power that the Dallas Mavericks have. Or they could play against a team like the Memphis Grizzlies. Who knows, maybe the Grizzlies, they fall off on a losing streak now that they don't have Ja Morant, now that injuries are catching up to them. Maybe the Grizzlies fall off, and if you're the Dallas Mavericks and you get to play the Memphis Grizzlies in round 1 of the NBA playoffs, you're going to be feeling pretty good about yourselves. You're going to say, hey, we can beat this team. We might be the lower seed, yeah, but we've got more stars than them. And Memphis, they seem to be a fractured team right now, so when you look at it from that perspective, Dallas could definitely beat them in a 7-game series. And let's say if they get past the Sacramento Kings, let's just say they're a 6th seed and they get to avoid playing the Phoenix Suns or the Golden State Warriors, or they get to avoid playing the Denver Nuggets in round 2 of the NBA playoffs. If they're the 6th seed and the Nuggets maintain the 1 seed status, that means that they can legitimately go to an NBA playoffs bracket, and they could be playing against the Sacramento Kings round 1. Then if they beat them, they could go ahead and play the Memphis Grizzlies in round 2 of the NBA playoffs. And these are 2 teams that the Dallas Mavericks could certainly beat for sure, and that could give them a pathway to the Western Conference, while you've got the Suns and Warriors battling it out in round 1 of the NBA playoffs. And then the winner of that has to play the Denver Nuggets against MVP candidate Nikola Jokic. So when you look at it from that perspective, that's going to be a bloodbath from the other side of that bracket. So when you look at the Dallas Mavericks, they've certainly got a pathway to becoming conference finals contenders. Their pathway is simple. They've just got to get out of that 7th seed territory. If they can get to the 6th seed, I like their chances. And I think that Luka Doncic, he's going to turn it on come postseason time. I think Kyrie is going to get his head straight. He's going to be focused on basketball. I know it's easier said than done, but he's going to be a free agent this upcoming summer, so he's got to get his head straight. I think he's going to go ahead and keep himself together. If the Dallas Mavericks get the 6th seed in the Western Conference, they're going to be able to beat a team like the Sacramento Kings. They're going to be able to beat a team like the Memphis Grizzlies. Now, as far as them being able to compete against a team like the Nuggets, like the Warriors, like the Suns, I'm not so confident about that. That's why I'm not going to say that the Dallas Mavericks are going to be coming out of the Western Conference. But what I will say is that yes, they are going to be legitimate contenders in the Western Conference. If you are talking about playoff basketball, they've got the star power, they've got the experience. They're going to get the job done in the postseason as long as they can draw matchups. That's what the NBA playoffs is all about. It's all about whether or not you can draw the favorable matchups. If the Dallas Mavericks can do that, I like their chances in the Western Conference. I'm not saying they're going to get out of it, but in terms of getting back to the Western Conference Finals, I think they could absolutely do that. They've just got to get the right matchups come playoff time. So that is why the Mavericks could be legitimate contenders in the Western Conference, even though the regular season record might not be as good as what it should be. Remember, go ahead and subscribe to Sports Guy Talking, like the video, and please comment down below. If you guys do that, I may shout you guys out in my Instagram story every Monday. That will be for the @DustinTran Instagram account. Make sure to follow me on Instagram @DustinTran and @SportsGuyTalking. Also, go follow me on Twitter @DustinTran. Again, go ahead and do those things that I just told you guys to go do. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed the content that was just produced. Peace out. I hope you enjoyed that video. Want more of Sports Guy Talking, the home of great sports content? Make sure you click that subscribe button to get the latest from Sports Guy Talking. Go ahead and like the video, comment down below, check the description box on the video in order to follow my Instagram and Twitter. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from the YouTube channel, Sports Guy Talking.